Hello everyone and welcome along to live coverage of ILR1. It's the PS4 side of things here today. The Spanish Grand Prix, the fourth round of the championship. It should be a cracking circuit. It is going to be potentially the last time we come racing in Spain for some time as Formula One talk about potentially taking that circuit off of the calendar in the future. Yes, it is a cracking circuit. It's got 16 turns, this Grand Prix circuit, and it should provide us with plenty of on-track action. Well, there was plenty of on-track action last week in Bahrain. VSR Blizzard winning from 10th position on the grid in a truly commanding display and raw speed as well as he cut his way through the field. Now, a number of drivers will be looking to try and topple him, as toppling into a spin very early on in the session is Leon, who has had a major moment there, climbing the hill, and has gone round big time for a moment. I'm getting a little bit of lag again here. I want to check something here. Apologies, folks. See if I'm downloading any updates, because if I am, that would not be very good. Yes, we are downloading silly updates. Going to have to delete them. Yes, thank you. Don't want to be doing stupid updates when you guys are trying to watch a race. How do you pause it up? How do you pause an update? Yeah, delete. Go away. Go away. Don't want any updates. Apologies for this, folks. Yes. Right, back to it now. Don't want any updates. But yeah, Leon, they're going for a bit of a spin. Going up towards Camps. There is a corner where you can make a lot of incidents. And has he now retired or something? Or is he just sitting in the middle of the road? It certainly looks like it, but Leon clearly not getting off to the best possible start. If you're wondering why my throat is totally destroyed, well, that's because of the football yesterday, so it is going to be a bit of a struggle for me. Plenty of water being taken on board, so apologies for the lack of voice this evening. But yes, we've got the medium tyres, the soft compound tyres, and the super soft tyres this weekend here in Spain. The soft tyres, pretty much the only tyre that they're going to use in qualifying. No point in qualifying on the other two. Mediums, too slow, and the super softs, well, they'll burn out after a few laps. So the general consensus is that it's best to qualify on the soft compound tyre. So you only get one set, so expect the majority of the drivers will wait to the very end of the session before using those tyres. So we've got Liam on top at the moment on the mediums, 17.7. No serious lap times being set by anyone yet. It has to be said, it will all happen at the end when the track is in its best conditions, when it's all rubbered in. But as I mentioned, it was Blizzard who took the victory last week in Bahrain from P10 in the grid. He is the championship leader as a result, and he has a mammoth 25-point lead after just 3 races. That is an incredible advantage to have so soon in the championship, and with 2 wins on the board, and it did not finish in China. So 50 points. Second is Janul, and he's had no points in 2 of his races, and a victory in China. So no consistency being shown by Blizzard's so-called rivals. Abiadon, he's in third with 22 points. Leon is fourth, the man we've seen spinning, with 20 points. Lickle is in 5th place in the standings with only 19 points. Then it gets really, really tight. We've got 3 drivers tied together on 18 points. It's me, who was brilliant last time out, Paris and Alfie, all on 18 points. Cliffy is on 12 points, and Lewis is on 12 points as well to round out the top 10. But now I'm looking at cars in the pits at the moment while I'm looking at the standings. Let's go and have a look at Paris now. I was speaking to this man during the week, and I have to say he's determined to show some real consistency for the rest of the season, get onto the podium, try and launch some sort of title challenge to Blizzard, as his car seemed to do an avoidance of the pit, but in the end he does come in. But Paris, it has to be said, one to watch. He has spoke to me during the week, said about how he feels determined to really get on top of some consistency, show some great pace, and try and challenge Blizzard in every single race. He wants to be on the podium every single race. He'll have to do that to beat Blizzard, it has to be said. It's rain now. The game just wants to show the cars coming in and going back out at the moment, but hold on a minute, I want to have another look and see if I've got any more stupid updates. Yes, we do. Go away, updates. Go away. I don't want updates at the moment. I'm trying to do a stream. What is it? Fortnite this time. Go away, Fortnite. I'm fed up looking at circles. They're getting smaller and smaller. Go away. How do you do it? How do you pause it? Pause. Pause. Right, there we go. Hopefully that's us now, folks. Hopefully we don't have to look at cars dancing around all over your screen. But, wow, I'm really struggling with this voice. But anyway, Alfie out on track on those medium tyres. 1 minute 18.3 is the time on the board so far from ILRT Alfie. He was involved in the thick of that action last week, which saw Barry receive a penalty. Several drivers received penalties last week. Because some of the driving at times in Bahrain was a little bit messy. A few drivers in the pits spending their time for the whole section. I think Barry is one of them, receiving a penalty, including a qualifying ban, so he'll have to come charging through from the very back of the pack. As Gran now goes quickest of all on a 1:17.636. Alfie at the moment on board with him. Let's keep an eye on him for a lap of this circuit. Going through turn 4. There's a lot of long corners on this racetrack. It really does hurt the tyres, which is why everyone choosing to start this race on the soft. Sweeping downhill through turn 6. Not really a corner in these modern cars. Easily flat out. Now climbing up the hill. Very important as Alfie backs out of his lap. Very important as you come out of there that you get a good exit, because you're pretty much flat out all the way down to turn 10 as Alfie now goes through the flying turn 9, the most challenging corner on the racetrack, and into the braking zone for turn 10, where we might see some overtaking. It is a tricky corner to negotiate. There is a heavy braking area. You can make overtakes, but the majority of them will be down at turn 1 in the race today. We are expecting a little bit of rain at the end of the race as well. A dry start expected with rain later on. That has been spoke about amongst the drivers, so we should see some rain at some point. Will that force some drivers to go and qualify on the medium tyre, or start on the medium tyre from outside the top 10? We'll have to wait and see. It could throw an extra curveball into the mix as Alfie comes into the pits. We've got Zenki out there, we've got It's Me out there, who, let's speak about him briefly. Second last time out, put in a fine performance in Bahrain after 2 non-scores in the opening 2 races. What can he do today in that Toro Rosso Honda? Surely capable of getting up there onto the podium once again. It's Me, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, as he comes round the final corner and is going to complete this lap as we wait for the drivers to pit those medium compounds. No sign of anyone doing it just yet. Sorry, pit those soft compound tyres, as It's Me goes 4th quickest at the moment. Francis in the pits on the soft tyre. We've got Liam in the pits on the soft tyre, ready to come out. We'll wait and see when they make the call to leave the pits. Is that Renault coming out the pits now? No, it's not. But we're waiting on those guys making an entrance onto the track. There is VSR Blizzard out there on the medium compound. The reigning world champion. Hasn't put a foot wrong last season, and 2 wins out of 3 this season already. Has double the points of the second place driver in the standings already. It's going to take something very, very special to topple VSR Blizzard, that's for sure. So Blizzard making his way up the hill through those winding corners, which is similar to Monaco. It gives the driver an idea of what's to come in the next race in the calendar traditionally when we do go to Monaco in the full race season. And Blizzard, is he coming in? Yes, he is. No point in completing a lap on the mediums. It's all about the soft compound. So the majority of drivers in the pits. Zenki out there. Seems like he's attacking the track on his medium tyres as he winds his way up through that turn 3, which in recent years has become a fantastic corner, as it's now pretty much flat out in the current generation of cars which were running in 2017. They really are brilliant cars, very fast. And Zenki on his way now through turn 6 and into turn 7, taking his time. Are we going to see some drivers head out there in the soft compound tyre soon? Hopefully we are, but at the moment we're just waiting for it all to kick off. Basil out there in the McLaren as he rounds the final corner here at second to Catalunya. What's he going to do? A 17.9 to go 7th quickest, and we are finally seeing someone, thank goodness for that, coming out onto the track on a set of soft compound tyres. So Rafa, very quick last week on the podium, looked very, very strong. What can he do today? As he goes a little bit wide. Take your time, Rafa. It's only an outlap, my man. Only an outlap. Desperate, of course, to get a win on the board. A man that Blizzard says will be one of his main rivals in the championship. He said that last week after the post-race interviews. And we'll have to keep an eye out and see if Rafa is the main challenger. As they watch him fly through turn 9, getting the heat in the tyres, prepping them. Don't want to take too much out of them though, you need them for the race, of course. As he begins his climb up the hill towards the end of the lap, that long right-hander, you're just desperate to get the throttle on through there all the time. You just got to be patient. And now, I don't know about you guys watching, but actually let us know. But I hate this final chicane. I would much love it, much prefer it if they followed the old layout. But yep, safety and stuff, that's why they do it. But let's keep an eye on Rafa then as he starts the first flying lap of the session on the soft compound tyre. The first meaningful lap of the session, it has to be said, as he comes down towards turn 1. The Haas will not be in the way as he approaches that first corner. So here we go then, as you can see on the left hand side, all the laps set so far on the medium. They're now on the soft, and Rafa runs really wide going through turn 3 as he approaches turn 4, really on the ragged edge. Surely he would have lost some time there, struggling perhaps with a little bit of understeer as he runs out towards the edge of the racetrack on the exit of turn 4, and now downhill into the left of 5. Rafa on a charge. He really is pushing it to the limit. Getting out the way there was the Ferrari, I believe, of Paris. And now uphill through that magnificent turn 9 goes Rafa, and he's still on a good lap. Can he complete it and get into the 1 minute 16s, which is where I feel the pole will be this afternoon, as Rafa climbs the hill now. That wide moment in turn 3 could cost him, no doubt about it. Rafa sweeping down the hill. Has he backed out of it? Yes, he has. And it's all about the next lap for Rafa. TC Brain warming up, Gano warming up, Paris about to start one. Who else is out there on one at the moment? I think It's Me could be the man on a quick lap right now. Yes, he is. And he comes to the end of that second sector. So climbing up the hill now, It's Me, currently 5th at the moment. And what can he do as he comes to the end of the lap? A couple of corners left, bouncing over the curbs. It's Me rounding the final corner now, climbing up through the gears and up towards the line. What can It's Me do? A 1:17.7 is his quickest so far. It's a 1:17.2, the first time we've seen on the soft compound tyre of note, and it's from It's Me. So he goes to the second position. Not a particularly quick lap because Gran went quicker on the mediums. Liam now goes 5th quickest. What about Zoom? He's just starting a lap. Who they got out there? Paris is pushing very hard, running really wide, going through camps up. 21.8 through the middle sector. Considerably quicker than the time of It's Me. Barry has backed out of the session. That's because he has a qualifying ban, remember. Paris now. 2 corners to go for the Ferrari driver, who spoke all week long about trying to get himself into the title hunt. To do that, he needs to be consistent. He needs to be quick in qualifying. Round the final corner comes Paris up to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 17 flat, so he goes quickest of all, but surely there will be more time from the others to come. Francis waiting to start his lap. Lambo begins his. Blizzard on an out lap. Who's on a quick one? Leon rounding the final corner. I think it's warming up for a quick one. It is. Rafa starts again. Alfie's starting one. Come on, who we got? Janil round the final corner. He is on a quick lap. What can he do? 9th quickest at the moment. It was a 16.5, but I think he must have cut a corner somewhere. As It's Me now goes top with a 16.9. June, is he on a quick lap? I think he will be. Round the final corner comes June, the man who was so competitive at the start of last season. Dropped away, but all of a sudden he's returned to form. Look at that from June, a 16.7 from June to go quickest of all. Where does that come from? Got an end now for the line. Only 4th quickest as things stand. What about Cliffy? He's gone 6th. Where is Blizzard? Where is Lambo? There is Blizzard there on a fresh flying lap. Blizzard going through turn 5 and then sweeping down towards turn 6. It's June, believe it or not, at his home race, returning to form. Where have you been, June? Can anyone topple him? Paris can. He goes quickest now, a 16.6. Rafa goes 4th quickest. Here comes Blizzard, the championship leader. How much pace has he got in his pocket as he heads into the braking zone? 21.4 through the middle sector. This is looking promising from VSR Blizzard. Up the hill he goes in that Mercedes. The championship leader, the reigning champion, looking to go and dominate once again in ILR1. It's Paris who's got the time at the moment to beat the 16.6. What can Blizzard do? He rounds the final corner of turn 16 and heads for the line. Is Blizzard going to blitz it? Yes, he is. 1.16.4 from VSR Blizzard to go quick to the ball by 0.2 of a second. June is third as things stand. Is anyone else out there improving? Zenke might be. Where is Lewis? He's not seen the flag, he's not done a lap. So it's all about Zenke, and he looks to have backed out. And that is that. At the end of this session, VSR Blizzard takes pole position with a 1.16.4, 0.2 clear of Paris in second. June, start of qualifying. Where have you been all this time, June? Great to have you back. And he is third on the grid. We've not seen that from June for a long time, so pleased to see that. Francis 4th, it's me 5th. Leon is 6th with his Renault teammate Liam alongside. Rafa only 8th. He'll be disappointed. PR1 Basel is 9th, and Gonanen rounds out the top 10 here in Spain. Now remember, we are expecting some rain towards the end of the race, so yeah, it could be an interesting one, that is for sure. The drivers outside the top 10 are surely going to opt for the medium tyres. Well, I'll tell you what, my voice is struggling, but I will try my best. Hopefully it's a good race and hopefully I do lose my voice, but today it's going to be a challenging one, that is for sure. But there is the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying results. VSR Blizzard on top, 1 minute 16.425. A fantastic effort on top once again. Can anyone stop him? I think not, if I'm honest. Paris in second, living up to what he told me during the week. He is going to be challenging, and that is going to be his aim in this race. Zoom is third, great effort, I have to say it again. Francis, 4th on the grid. It's me is 5th, trying to continue that good form he's shown in Bahrain. Leon is 6th, 7th is Liam Younger, Rafa 8th, Basil 9th, and it's gone in, rounding out the top 10 here today in qualifying. Well, we've got blue sky and sunshine for the start of the race, but as I say, we're predicting that we might see some drizzle towards the end of the race. Keep an eye on it, folks. It should be a cracker. Usually 66 laps ahead of the drivers, but of course, in league racing, most of the time, and in ILR, it's a 50% distance race, and of course, that means we've got 33 laps ahead of us. The soft tyres usually run to around lap 12 to 15, then usually go on to the medium compound. Now, what will the guys outside the top 10 do? Will they go onto the mediums and try and run all the way until the predicted rain? Perhaps they will. Now, if they do, that would take something very, very special. I'm certainly going to be looking out for the likes of Barry, the likes of Lewis, trying something like that. So keep an eye on them. What would you do if you're watching in the group chat? In the chat, would you go up for the mediums, or would you go for the softs? And the qualifying position, certainly a tough one. That is for sure. But the warm-up lap underway then. Let's get an eye on the tyre choices. And yeah, a lot of drivers outside the top 10 opting for the mediums. But the top 10, as I've already gone through, on the softs, except Gonanen, who actually did his qualifying lap on the medium tyre. Perhaps ruined his final effort, I'm not too sure. But Gonanen, 10th quickest at the moment. So 10th at the grid with the medium tyre. So that'll be an interesting one. 11th behind him, Zenke is the first man with fresh tyres on the softs, interestingly. Cliffy has also gone for the softs, and as my former co-commentator said, Alamanda, he'll have a nosebleed being that high up. Cliffy usually starts right down at the back and likes to fight his way through it. So he's 12th on the soft, Lambo 13th on the soft, and a couple of medium runners, Janul and the Brain. then Alfie on the soft tyre, and then the 4 down the bottom, Lickle, Lewis, Amiadon and Speed Barry, all going on the medium tyre. Now let's see what Barry can do today. Did grab the headlines for all the wrong reasons among some of the drivers for his conduct last week. There were a few drivers though like that. Amiadon also, I think, got a qualifying ban. So keep an eye out. Hopefully we can see some great driving from them. I like this idea of sending drivers with not the greatest racecraft to the back of the grid, because it it helps them learn that way. But we'll keep an eye on it, see what they can do. But back to the front, this is Blizzard warming up as he guns for a 3rd win in 4 races. 33 laps ahead of us. Rain coming at the end of the race. This should be a cracker here in ILR1 on the PS4. 3 rounds down, Blizzard on top in the championship by 25 points. Is anyone going to be able to stop him? Moving into position now, the drivers. Blizzard, Paris alongside, who is desperate, absolutely desperate to show what he's capable of. Desperate to put a stamp of authority on this championship. Can he do it from 2nd on the grid? June behind in 3rd, returning to his best form in a long time. Here come the lights. It's Ferrari and Mercedes in the front row who will come out on top today as the 5 red lights go out, and we are racing here in Spain. It's Blizzard leading them on the run down of turn 1. He's in a very good start. Look at the Mercedes of Francis pulling alongside, trying to make his way through. A big squeeze there, but it is going to be Blizzard leading into turn 1. June sweeping round the outside and up into 2nd place. Paris has had a terrible start, dropping down to 4th place. Jumped by Jim and Francis, but it's VSR Blizzard, crucially, who leads them on their way down towards turn 4. Blizzard from Jim, then Francis and Paris. Liam is up to 5th, and Leon is up to 6th. Great start from the 2 Renault drivers at the start of this race on the opening lap. So great stuff. Blizzard up and running, but what a start by Jim and by Francis, up into 3rd and 4th. And I don't know if you're getting this, but my screen looks pretty laggy again. Not too sure why. I've not got the stream on and I don't have any downloads, so I don't know what's going on. Blizzard still leads them from Jim in 2nd, Francis 3rd, Paris in 4th, and look at Liam there, who's made a great getaway at the start of this race, looking desperate to gain a few more positions. Both Reynolds gaining one. Cliffy has had an absolute monster getaway, 5 places gained at the start of this race for Cliffy. He's up to 7th and doing very well. He'll be one to watch, and he's on fresh rubber as well. So, he's up 4 places. Abiadon's up 6 further down the order as they all come across the line onto another lap. And we have got June looking quite close to the back of Blizzard. No sign of a move being made though, and he remains where he is. Paris attacking Francis as they go side by side through turns 1 and 2. And Paris has got, crucially, back in front of Francis in the battle for 3rd and 4th. Can he get back after VSR Blizzard, who's under threat in the early exchanges from June, who looks really racy this afternoon. He really does. Goodness me, where is this turn to form came from June? Absolutely flying. So, June in 2nd. I'm going to have a quick look. Have I got any more downloads? Yet, what is with this? Stop downloading things. There we go. Right, back to the action. For goodness sake, apologies about that, folks. I'm not very good with technical things, as Tom mentioned earlier on in the chat. I really am not, but I think that's us sorted now. So, Blizzard still leading from June in 2nd, Paris 3rd, Francis 4th, and then this group behind, the 2 Reynolds in there, both gaining ground on the opening lap. The big loser was Zenke. He's retired from the race. Basil must have had to make a pit stop too. He's right down at the foot of the field, and a pit stop adrift as Blizzard comes across the line and sets the fastest lap as the 2 Reynolds are about to do battle down towards turn 1. No sign of Leon getting close enough to make the move behind that. Cliffy is under real threat here. Side by side goes It's Me. Round the outside he tries. He'll now have the inside It's Me, but not for turn 3. And Cliffy clings on to 7th place, and It's Me drops to 8th as things stand. So Blizzard putting the foot down at the front, try to open that gap out above a 2nd, but June, he ain't going anywhere yet. He's clinging on very well. So it's me, tucked right up behind Cliffy. Best overtaking opportunities down at turn 10 and at turn 1. The issue with the move at turn 10 is through turn 9 you get so much dirty air, and now down towards turn 10 they go. Not much of a straight, that is DRS, but you know, it's not easy to make a move there. DRS will be active on this lap, so expect some slipstreaming down towards turn 1 as Jooms desperately tries to stay within that 1 second window if he can. He might have half a chance this afternoon, but he needs to stay there. 1 second it goes to. Has he made it within the activation? Let's keep an eye down towards turn 1. I don't think he has, and now he is going to be under big threat from Paris, who is right behind him and fancies his chances as they approach the first corner. Paris has a look, but he can't quite do it and remains tucked up behind Joom. You have to feel if Paris wanted to challenge Blizzard today, he had to get within a second after the DRS, and you have to feel he should have stayed second at the start. It's not happened, and it's going to be an uphill struggle for him to remain in the battle with Blizzard this afternoon, who we know is so quick. But Joom, it was looking really racy in the early exchanges, now not so, and Paris fancies his chances, and Joom's picking up penalties as well. 3 seconds added to his name, so the Spaniard on home turf at the moment, not coming up with the goods. Lap 4 out of 33, Blizzard still in control, but we are expecting a light sprinkling of rain towards the end. Will it affect the race? I don't know where the weather forecasters are coming from, because looking out of my commentary box window, blue sky everywhere you look here in Circuit de Catalunya, Spain. No sign of any rain at the moment, but you never know. But here comes Paris again, down towards turn 1. Does he fancy his chances this time on Joom? Certainly closer than before, but by the time they get there, Joom has it covered. No way through, and Paris stays where he is in third, but look at how much quicker he is at the moment. Joom clearly struggling for race pace, and he's gaining, but not enough on this particular occasion. So Paris now right up behind him and in position for a move. Joom, and as Alimonda says, taking far too much out of his tyres. And you know, you've seen that at the start, didn't you, really? The first couple of laps he was right on the back of Blizzard, pushing too hard, and now the gap has opened up to 1.5 seconds as Paris homes in on the back of Joom, as we got a yellow flag out there. I'm not too sure why, but it disappears quickly. And Paris is waiting for that moment. Surely this will be that moment. He's closer than he's been at any moment prior to this. He's basically pushing Joom through the final corner, and this time this should be pretty easy for Paris as they come across the line. The Ferrari against the Williams. He pulls out from behind, and look, it's not even worth getting excited about. He's flying past him. Francis, though, could be under attack here on Joom. And look at this from a long way back, and Joom forced out, Francis through and up into third place. So Joom returning to qualifying form, perhaps not in the races though. He's struggling and drops down to 4th place, and pretty soon you got to feel those Renaults are going to be right in amongst the fight for P4. But the question now is, can Paris do anything about Blizzard? Does he have the race pace to stay in touch? He feels that Blizzard's biggest weakness is his corner cutting. He can pick up penalties. Maybe his best hope is to stay within range of Blizzard. He certainly knows that's an area where he can capitalise on. That's what he spoke to me about during the week, about being consistent, not getting any time penalties, and keeping Blizzard honest in this championship battle, because at the moment nobody is keeping him honest, and he's on a march towards a 2nd straight title in ILR. There's no doubt about that. Someone has to do something, and fast, and at the moment Paris, since overtaking Joom, has gone about his business quite well, and already has lowered the gap to 1.4, so early signs are Paris has the pace. So down the start finish straight they go. Look at that, it's a lovely helicopter shot. I do like that. Down towards turn 1. Hopefully we'll see more of those in the F1 2019, which is released towards the end of next month. I'm sure we will. I think that's one of the main things they're bringing to the game. as Leon now starting to drop off the back of his teammates slightly and into the clutches of the charging Cliffy, who started 12th, has gained 5 places already since the start and looks determined to try and make up some more ground here today. So Cliffy behind Leon as they sweep down the hill through turn 6 and down towards turn 7. Is he going to be making any more moves? We know Cliffy is the king of overtaking. He's the king of coming through the pack, winning at Monaco from around 14th, I think it was, last season, and from last place in Italy as well. So if there's anyone out there that can win from down the back of the field, it's this man you're riding on board with, ILRT Cliffy, as he lines up his fellow ILRT driver, Leon, in the Renault. So are we going to see a move soon, as Rafa has dropped right down the order? Has he had a moment? I think he might have. Let's keep an eye. Yes, he has. He's off in the gravel trap. So Rafa's afternoon goes from average to pretty bad. So down to 12th place he goes. And I think it might be the end of his afternoon, because he's taking the old route, and into the pits he will come. Is that Jum? What happened to Jum? Has he missed the pit lane, or has he spun the rear tyres? One of the two. But now both of the Williams cars have had a problem, and Jum clearly struggling on his tyres. He's taken too much out of them, and there he goes, 12th position. He spun at the chicane, and he drops down to 12th place. So not good for Jum. His afternoon has gone sour after a great qualifying session. Clearly not finding the race pace, as CC Brain now has retired from the race. Not too sure what's happened to him, but he's out as well. 8 laps gone. We've lost Zenki, Abiadon and CC Brain from the race. 17 cars remaining, and both McLarens struggling out there down at the back of the field. We've got a yellow flag out there again in Sector 1. I'm not too sure why, as we watch Alfie line up Janul in the battle for 8th and 9th. Alfie then, round the final corner. Half a second in it. Janul dropping off the back of it to me to the tune of 2.5 seconds now. So, you know, you've got to feel this is an opportunity here for Alfie to try and get himself up a place and into 8th position, but it doesn't look like he can. And he remains where he is. We've got yellow flags out there again in Sector 2 and 3. Why is that? 1 and 2, I should say. Not too sure. But there are the leaders, as Rafa is picking up a hatful of penalties out there at somewhere on the road. Not too sure why. And he's now retired from the race. So Rafa out of the Grand Prix. But look at this. Paris, 1.5 off the back of Blizzard and staying there. Not dropping off at all. Keeping pace with the world champion. And looking relatively strong, it has to be said. There could, after all, be a race to have between the top two this afternoon. Keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on Cliffy, who is in 5th position at the moment. Chasing down Liam. He's got ahead of Leon. And now, within a second of Liam, who does not have DRS, to Francis. So, potential opportunity for Cliffy to make up another place soon. But Jum must have totally annihilated his tyres to go spinning out of the corner that he did, the final corner. And so soon to have to come into the pits. A bad day then for Williams, with Rafa out of the race as well as Cliffy. Half a second off the back of Liam is looking to make that move. We're expecting pit stops around lap 12 to 15 for the drivers on the softs. They will then move over onto the mediums, and the drivers on the mediums, will they try and run until the expected rain? It was sun splitting skies earlier on. It is still relatively sunny, but the clouds appear to be rolling in as we look above us. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have some rain later on. Francis now picks up a 3-second time penalty. So the penalty's beginning to mount as well, as Cliffy continues in 5th position behind Liam at the moment. And he's looking really strong at the moment on those fresher soft tyres. Remember, he did start the race on them, Cliffy. So he is undoubtedly going to have fresher tyres. Liam had to qualify on them. It was fresh for Cliffy at the start of the race. As Blizzard now starts the 10th lap, 1.7 ahead of Paris. So is he slowly trying to eke that gap out? As Alfie, we'll go back to that, is back behind Janul and back fancying his chances to take that 8th place away as they run down towards turn 1. Look at the defence that is from Janul, really late. And round the outside goes Alfie. Can he get it done? Nope. And Janul will just about hold on to that 8th position. And Alfie drops down into 9th. So, are we going to have a move here pretty soon between these two? It certainly looks like it. Alfie, certainly the quicker. Janul struggling for any kind of pace. The Finnish driver, as things stand. It's so much more pace at the moment, Alfie. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried it into turn 10. Janul, I don't think is doing too well with his tyres, running wide there as they went through the high-speed right-hander of turn 9. Alfie just waiting to pounce. Cliffy though, further up the road, now right in position behind Liam, and will fancy his chances to go up into that 5th place very soon and into the pits now. Paris and Francis have come in. Very early pit stop. Could it be for another fresh set of softs with the anticipated rain later on? Let's have a look. Fresh set of mediums for Francis. It is a fresh set of softs for Paris. So Paris opting for the softs because he believes the rain is coming later. And he won't need to use both sets of tyre. So an inspired call perhaps. An aggressive, a risky call from Paris. Will it work though? 3 joins ahead of Francis, as you'd expect, with Liam 3 seconds adrift of them. What will Blizzard do? What will Alfie do? What will they all do? But that, an interesting decision from Paris, it has to be said, to go on to a set of soft compound tyres with the anticipated rain coming later. Obviously believes it's coming earlier than some do, and some think. But will Blizzard be taken into the pits anytime soon? We know his pace, we know he likes to do his own thing. He's not too bothered about the opposition. He feels he's got the pace in hand to make the overtakes when he needs to. Will he come into the pits on this occasion? Here's your answer. Yes, he will. Now, the tyre choice is critical here for VSR Blizzard. What's it going to be? It's a fresh set of mediums for Blizzard. So there you go. Split strategy. Blizzard going for the mediums. His race rival Paris is on the softs. How close are they going to be on the racetrack here? Blizzard coming down the pit lane there. Paris yet to appear on the left-hand side. And Blizzard easily regains the lead. But Paris crucially now on a set of soft compound tyres and should have the pace to catch him and overtake him, with rain expected later on. Pit stops, Blizzard stop, Paris stop, Francis stop, the top 4 we are waiting on a pit stop from, and they're all still out there. Cliffy on the softs, It's Me on the softs, Janul and Lickle on the medium tyre. But to be fair to Janul, going very well on the mediums, right up to the back of It's Me, despite being on a tyre that is much slower. But now, of course, the softs will be past their best, and Janul should be quicker than It's Me. So keep an eye on it. Are we going to see pit stops from Cliffy and It's Me on this lap? We are from Cliffy, we are from It's Me, and Janul on the mediums will now resume the lead of the race. Now, the question is, can he carry these medium tyres all the way to the anticipated rain period? If he can, it would be something very special. One to watch nonetheless. The other question is, can Lickle do it? I presume he'll try to, and that also means that Blizzard, in the theory, is racing Lickle for position, because they will both be stopping again for inters, we assume, if the rain does come. So these guys on mediums, they're going to go long, they're going to fight this with Blizzard, They're going to fight it out, no doubt about it. But rain is due in 15 minutes. We gotta love the gamble, and it's going to be an interesting one. What do you guys think watching? Do you think that it's going to work for Paris? Do you think it's going to work for Janul and Lecco? That's the other question. Will they get to the end of the race, or until the rain period on their mediums? Will Paris get to the end of the softs on his tyres? Look how close he is to the back of Blizzard. He's right there. Surely he fancies his chances here. Down at Ferrari, they will be praying for rain. Desperately asking for rain, but obviously not until Paris passes Blizzard. But at the moment, Blizzard under the cosh. Something different here today in ILR. We're seeing a different strategy, and it's throwing things into the mix. Blizzard knows with the pressure he's under, he needs to try and get this move done. And Lickle, as we expected, doesn't really want to give it up because it's for position. And through goes Blizzard up the inside, and Paris muscles his way through on Lickle, who goes off the racetrack, rejoins. And was that a tad aggressive from Paris? We never really seen it live, so I don't know. I'm not too sure, but from what we did see, it looked like a late lunge. And it's desperation to stick to the back of Blizzard. Has he sustained damage from it? I don't think so. But half a second between them, and he knew he had to try and get through there. But Paris certainly looked to me like he took a desperate dive to get through on Nickel there, and could be under a little bit of pressure from the stewards at the end of this race after that one. But, you know, if he wants to win the race, he needs to stick to the back of Blizzard. And he needs to get that move done. So I can understand his frustration and why he wanted to do it, but I don't think it was the cleanest choice. That's for sure. Lap 16 now, out of 35. Janil leads by 6 seconds. Yet to stop. After 15 laps on the mediums, he's running all the way till the predicted rain period. Behind him on the road though, we have a battle for the victory, and Paris is gaining on Blizzard. If the rain doesn't come, Paris will need to stop again. If it does though, he's in a prime position behind Blizzard and ready to attack. Through turn 3 they go on lap 16 out of 33. Mercedes against Ferrari. Paris told me all week that he was desperate to be the man to take the fight to Blizzard. So far today, he is doing it. He is the man to challenge him on those soft compound tyres. He's right behind him. He knows he's got a pace advantage. Blizzard knows he has to try and keep him there. If it rains, the Ferrari is surely in a great position. Now through capture they go. Look at the dirty air sustained by Paris there. Very nearly off the road and into the gravel trap. Wow. Incredible. And behind that, you look at this, Francis passing Lickle and moving through. As in the background we've got battling as well, but it's all about Paris against Blizzard in the fight for victory this afternoon. Potentially not even that victory, with Janul further up the road still going on his tyres. Janul surprisingly bailing out now. Doesn't think he can get to the end on the mediums until the rain period, so he bails out and into the pits. This is what it's all about. Ferrari versus Mercedes at the front. Blizzard versus Paris for the victory. Differing strategies. Who will come out on top? But Blizzard is weathering the storm at the moment. Has Paris had his chance on those softs? Are they past their best? That's the question. Right there, waiting to pounce is Paris, but he needs to get a move on. Let us know in the comment section, folks, who are you tipping for the victory? I know it all depends on the rain, but do you think Paris, should it rain, can do it, or are you still tipping Blizzard? I'm not too sure. The safe bet would always be with Blizzard, that's for sure. But you just never know. Paris looks on it today. He really does. And he fancies his chances. Let's have a look at the ERS deployment. Still got plenty in the locker. He needs to do it now. Needs to go for it. This is the lap, surely, for Paris. if he wants to take the lead. We might be in Barcelona, but it's all about Paris here today. He's on the attack. Blizzard defends the inside of the road. This is Paris. He's coming dancing through. The prancing horse gallops round the outside. Is he through into the lead? Yes, he is. Blizzard tries to fight hard, but he can fight no longer. Paris is through on the soft tyre. The mediums can do no more, and the Ferrari team are on their feet. They're praying for rain now, because Paris is in the prime position should the rain begin to fall. Sweeping round the outside, and the Silver Arrow, the reigning champion, the championship leader, had no answer, and Paris takes the lead. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And my voice might already be ruined, but boy oh boy are these two trying to make it even worse. Paris leads the race, Blizzard in second. Awesome stuff between the pair, as Codemasters decide to give us a horrendous shot looking backwards when we want to see in front. But Blizzard ain't out of this yet. He's well within DRS territory and is desperate to make the move. When will it rain, or will it rain? But Blizzard is right there. I'm looking out of the commentary box window. I'm looking at the skies above me. They're darkening, but I don't think they're darkening quick enough for Paris at the moment, as Blizzard gets up behind him and tries to give Paris a taste of his own medicine. DRS active for the world champion. He's gaining like a shark. He's waiting behind him, but he can't quite get there as they approach turn one. And it's the Ferrari driver who maintains top spot here in the Spanish Grand Prix, round 4 of the championship, in what has been a thriller. Francis is third and still out there, by the way, on his medium tyres, trying to do what you know failed to do is Lickle, but he's really struggling, and through goes Cliffy with ease up into 4th place. And pretty soon the two Renaults will follow suit. We'll keep an eye on Blizzard in a moment, but this looks to be where the battle is. Liam against Lickle, who is clearly struggling, and I wouldn't be surprised if he passed him into turn 10, given the difference of the tyres. Through turn 9 they will go, and he's gaining. Will Liam send it up the inside? Not on this occasion, he stays where he is, but it's time to go back to VSR Blizzard. And not for much longer, as they're saying in the chat, and you're absolutely right, Jay. The softs will not be quicker for much longer. So it needs to rain now for Paris. The rain in Spain needed for Ferrari as Blizzard comes across the line, staying within DRS territory. Not often is Blizzard rattled. Has he been rattled today? That's the question. We're still waiting on the answer. But he's staying within DRS range. He's keeping it honest. He's doing everything he needs to do. And he should be able to pounce back on Paris if it fails to rain in the next few laps. But this is a fantastic battle. It's something that I have to say I feel at times in ILR1 on the PS4 we've been robbed of. Very rarely have we seen Blizzard have to battle like this for a victory, and he is today. Paris, albeit an alternative strategy, taking it to him, taking risks, and is determined to come out on top in this battle. Lap 20 out of 33. The skies are getting darker still, but I still do not see any sign of rain at the moment. Ferrari, I can see out my commentary box window, they've got their hands outside the garage, the palms upturned, looking for spots of rain on their hands, but it's not happening. No spots of rain on my commentary box window. No sign of the fans of the grandstands reaching for the ponchos or the umbrellas just yet, as Blizzard moves in, ready to pounce again. Surely the softs are no longer the quicker tyre to be on. Surely Blizzard is moving back into the favourites position. But is he moving back into the leading position? At the moment, not yet. Ferrari absolutely desperate for rain. They'll have spotters all around the circuit, but Paris at the moment is holding firm, holding his lead from Blizzard in second. Ferrari holding on as things stand. He said, and I've said it already, he was desperate to take the fight to Blizzard. He's doing it today, and he's doing it in style. VSR Blizzard on pole with that 1 minute 16.425 in qualifying, in case you were wondering. Is having to fight for it this afternoon. Through the final couple of corners they go. Still they wait on the rain, which doesn't seem to be materialising. Round the final corner they come, across the line. Blizzard within DRS range. Is he going to be close enough down towards that first corner to make a move? It doesn't look like it. And for one more lap, Paris will survive. We are at 2/3 race distance, lap 22 out of 33. How much longer can that Ferrari hold his position? Leon now has got himself ahead of Leclerc, who really is surely getting towards puncture territory. Paris leads from Blizzard second, Francis third. Cliffy now up to fourth. What a race he's had. Charging through the field. That's Cliffy. 8 positions gained. Leclerc up 10, but yet to stop. It's me is 8. Alfie is 9th and Gran is 10th. And that is a battle. Sorry, Yanil's 10th and Gran is 11th. That's a battle worth watching. Look at that. Big train of cars queuing up behind the struggling Leclerc blocks. How much longer can Leclerc keep them by? And he's got to be struggling out there on those tyres now. I suppose he's in a position now where he has committed and he has to go for it, doesn't he? But surely it's Mabel Fancy's chances here. Down the inside he goes, locking up. Is he through? Muscling himself alongside, and yes, through he goes. Up a position, but here comes Blizzard. Paris feels the need to defend, and Blizzard is in overtake mode here, and that is the rain. There's a sprinkling of rain, but has it come too late for Paris? Blizzard, huge switchback, incredible stuff at the turn one, and he battles his way back through, up into the lead of the race, right when he needed to do it, and he resumes the lead. The world champion just cannot be stopped in ILR1. Incredible signs of bravery. He ducked back on the inside, he dummied Paris, and retook the lead. But the rain is now beginning to fall. The mechanics are scattering for the intermediate tyres. But as it came too late for Paris, surely those softs are past their sell-by date, and Blizzard is going to romp clear before the window comes to change tyres. But can he stay within DRS? Blizzard slightly making an error there as they approach turn 9. Mercedes versus Ferrari, this is epic, and Francis is homing in on the pair of them, and now Francis has made a mistake. He's going to go spinning. Huge slide there for Paris. Into the back of Blizzard, misjudged the braking, perhaps the rain played a factor, and he drops off to the tune of 1.2 seconds and into the clutches of Blizzard's teammate Francis, and surely that ends all hope for Paris of winning this race. Disaster. Well, it was going oh so well for him, and now he's under threat from the other Mercedes. It's like real life. Ferrari make an error and Mercedes pounce with 1-2 finishes, and now Francis makes a mistake and he hits the back of Francis. Incredible, out of Paris, and now he's got front wing damage. Incredible. None of these guys know the braking points, and Francis makes a mistake and he now is going to be in an uphill struggle to get a podium. Unbelievable stuff. But Blizzard now up into the lead and in control of the race. But can he get the timing right for the pit stop? That is the key. Will it rain enough for a pit stop? On a damp track, they always say on this game, the harder the tyre, the better. And it's proving the case, because Blizzard is romping clear. 2.3 seconds ahead now. As Barry retires, Rafa retires. It's not been a good afternoon for them at all. As Francis, with that front wing damage, tries to keep within range of Paris. Surely Cliffy here is going to fancy his chances of a podium. Classic Cliffy, of course. As the rain begins to fall, or continues to fall. Who is your driver of the day, folks? I know we've got time left, but surely Blizzard as a contender again. Cliffy, got to mention them too. 8 places gained for ILRT Cliffy so far, and got to fancy his chances with the front wing damage to the cars in front. Could well see himself on the podium again. So consistent. So consistent. Let's go have a look at Janelle then, on the soft tyre. Coming back through the field after that earlier pit stop. Obviously feeling that he couldn't get the softs as far as he would have liked. The medium, sorry, so he had to come in. Meanwhile, the other man that was on a similar strategy is still going out there on 24 lap old medium tyres. Goodness me. How is he still going? Unbelievable. Francis though has come into the pits on this lap, and obviously with his teammate he had to come in a lap earlier because he didn't want to be queuing or having to tippy-toe round for an extra lap, so that probably explains why Francis has come in an earlier lap. He's going to put a new front wing on as well, and he should be on his way any moment now. So Francis, the first to blink and fit inters, and a lot of the guys are coming in for them now. So obviously the rain has got to a stage now where it's bad enough, and look at Blizzard struggling out there, making a couple of errors. Can he keep it on the island? He's got a 3-second advantage. It won't be easy with that yellow out there. Who's off the road in these damp conditions? Gordon M is off the road and out of the race. There it is there. There he is. He's crashed on the entry of turn, the exit of turn 2 into turn 3 in the damp conditions. So that is what's happened to him. Where is Blizzard? Tippy-toeing his way round at the moment. Francis 7th is where he rejoined. Janul come in, Alfie come in. They've all been in the pits. Just how bad is it out there on those tyres? Has Francis got a chance of jumping them? Probably not, given he changed the front wing. If he hadn't, he could have potentially. But Blizzard edges his way through the final few corners and comes into the pits. Paris has followed them in. So they're both coming in, and they will both fit the medium compound tyre. They're all pouring into the pits now. In comes Cliffy, and will come the Reynolds. Well, they both come in. They will both come in the Reynolds together. So that is a shame. They've both been having a great race, and because of the rain, one of them is going to be screwed over. So we're going to have a Renault queue in the pit lane. Where is the leaders? Paris and Blizzard coming back out onto the racetrack, well clear of Francis, who, by the way, is only in the final corner. So that shows you what that front wing damage has cost Francis this afternoon. And look at that. If he hadn't had to change that wing, he could have been right up the front, losing out to Liam as a result. So now 5th place for Francis, not good at all. And into turn 1, we've got a battle going on there. It's me and Janot, and It's Me just gets the better of it and moves up into 6th place, and now goes Janot in the damp conditions. Big moment there. And thankfully he doesn't do a Grosjean and give us a smoke screen. Would have struggled in the damp conditions right enough, but Janot gets back underway and will rejoin in 10th place, potentially 11th if June can get him. But they're all tippy-toeing their way out around the circuit at the moment. But back up to the front. It is Blizzard leading. Paris second. Oh, why are we going back there? No, we don't want to go back there. Paris second and cutting the gap. I'm going to have a quick look, folks, just for a heads up on the penalty count. Always nice to see them. How many has Blizzard got? He's got 1 warning to his name. Paris, 2 warnings to his name. So that's that situation for you guys. Cliffy, look at that. Not a single warning on his to his name. Incredible stuff. So Paris, who knows Blizzard's weakness is usually time penalties. Well, today, unfortunately for him, it's not the case. He's not picking up any. And it doesn't look like he will either. And the gap 3 seconds at the moment. Let's have a look further down. Leon attacking Alfie. And yes, you are right. I do need Paul de Resta alongside me in the commentary box because my voice is destroyed today. I've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. But anyway, Leon being attacked by Alfie. I mean, Are we going to see a move here? Sorry, other way around. Leon attacking Alfie. I'm not with it today, lads. I'm not. I really am not. Anyway, are we going to see a move? ILRT covering 7th to 10th. Alfie, Leon, Lickle and Janot. The highest ILRT driver at the moment is Cliffy, up in 3rd, who, surprise, surprise, started outside the top 10. Are we going to see a move anytime soon? What about Jum? Oh, look at Janot. Oh my goodness. That was a big moment for Janot there. And off the road. And actually, Jum at the same time crashed there. So when Janot went off, it must have caught Jum out. Are we going to see a Williams in the wall here? Yes, we are. There he is. Good night, Jum. And he's out. And wow, 2 cars off at once. And all of a sudden, look at this. The 2 McLarens dueling. Might not be for a point, but it's for pride. And Lewis goes through up into 11th place. So tidy move there. So Jum is out, and the big off the track moment from I think it was Janot there. So that's crazy stuff. I'm sure we can go down to rest that in the ILR pad to have a look at that at some point. But yeah, Jack, if you're watching, if we're looking for any more improvements for ILR, let's get an ILR pad, like a sky pad kind of thing. And we can go down to Matt and he can put on the Paul di Resta impression for us. Because it's decent, I have to be honest, it is a decent impression. Back to the action though. VSR Blizzard, still leading the race with Paris in second, 3.2 the gap. Paris, he's just trying his best to stay within that 3-second window, but he's struggling. Blizzard, again, just has all the answers when he needs them. Doing a great job this afternoon. But yeah, go on then folks, it's getting to that time of day now, it's settling down a little bit. Give us your driver of the day. Is it Blizzard? Is it Cliffy? Is there anyone else out there that you fancy for driver of the day? Alfie up 9 places. Go on, let us know. I at the moment, I'm going to go for Blizzard. He's answered the questions that have been asked of him by Paris. Oh, Alfie's made a moment there. And this should be easy for Leon now down towards turn 1. Pulling alongside. Down the outside he will go. Alfie covering the inside, and Leon will try his best to sweep right round the outside. Will he? He'll try, but he'll fail. And Alfie will hold on for now. So no changes there. Leon still 8th. Alfie still in 7th. But it is the best battle on track as Blizzard stretches out to nearly 4 seconds. But where is the move going to happen? You know, sometimes in this game, without DRS, it can be harder to overtake. In the wet conditions in real life, it's easier. But on the game, I'm not too sure. Without DRS, it can be tough. It does open up opportunities to overtake elsewhere on the track, perhaps at turn 10. And this is the opportunity that Leon is waiting for on Alfie. Is he going to do it this time? No. Still Alfie holds on, but he goes a little bit deep. Taking the karting line, perhaps that'll be his reasoning, I assume, as Leon now goes side by side. Terrible camera angle. Give us a good one, for goodness sake. That'll do. And Alfie side by side with Leon. Leon holding firm. Has he got the place? Alfie, brilliant driving to hold on. Look at this. The pair of them side by side they go. Into the chicane. Awesome stuff. And Leon is finally through in a fantastic battle between the pair. Up into 7th place. Awesome stuff. But Alfie ain't done yet. He's coming back for more. Leon knows he needs to defend, and look at the slipstream effect. Here he comes. Not quite enough. As they go down into turn 1, and Leon clings on. Let's have a look then at your driver of the day calls. I personally, I'm going to go for Blizzard. XSU says Cliffy, driver of the day, hands down. Actually, I could go for Cliffy as well, that's another shout. Francis says Spag and Chips. What else we got? Janot, driver of the day for putting Jim off. I suppose he did put him off brilliantly. It was a disguised move. That's right up there. But a few good choices for driver of the day nonetheless. As Blizzard's now in the penultimate lap. And Alfie tucked up behind Leon. In what has been a fantastic little battle to close out the race. Keeping us entertained, that's for sure. Driver of the day, Cliffy or Blizzard. Couldn't agree more. Certainly one of those two. But yeah, as you guys have spotted, an ILRT domination of the lower reaches of the top 10. Leon, Alfie, Nickel, Janil, Lewis, ILRT, 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 filling those places. But Alfie, it looks to be dropping off the back now of Lickel. Sorry, off the back of Leon. And now Lickel fancies his chances about getting involved. Alfie sliding, Lickel sliding in these conditions. Driver of the day, Zenke, another shout. DNF'd early on, why not? Max Verstappen, anyone? But lap 32, oh wow, big moment there for Lickel. Big moment. Nearly spat 2 points away in the wall there. Oh, that was a big moment. Just about holds it together. But Blizzard, let's go up to him for a victory lap. He's on the final lap and he's on his way. All the questions being asked of him by Paris today, they have been answered superbly with a brilliant move just as the rain started to fall. And now look, he's pulled clear to assert his authority and show that he is the man to beat. Brilliant from Blizzard again, and he's on his way through turn 5 in these damp conditions. Tell you what, I'm going to the Spanish Grand Prix next week. I might see you there, Ali Monda, if you're still tuning in. I know he's going as well. But, you know, I wouldn't mind a little bit of rain in Spain to spice things up. I don't mind going on holiday and it's raining if it involves F1. I have to be honest with you. But it is all about this man. Forget me and my holidays. It's all about Blizzard as he comes down towards the final sector. Lap 33 out of 33. 5.5 seconds his advantage. Not a penalty to his name. And is in complete control of the championship. It is going to be a third win in 4 races so far this season. He had a 25-point lead. It's about to get a whole lot bigger as they leave the Spanish Grand Prix. The rain arrived in Spain. Blizzard had an answer for it. He comes round the final corner, comes up to the line and cruises to victory here in Spain. Great drive again from Blizzard. Paris put up a fight. He was superb today. He's second. Cliffy, driver of the day for many, in third on the podium. 9 places gained. With a super drive from Liam as well to come home fourth. Very nearly on the podium. We had never mentioned that. Great drive from him as well. It's Me comes home in fifth. Backs up that second place last time out with a strong 5th place finish. Francis is sixth after losing his front wing when he could have battled for the victory earlier on. Leon 7th, Alfie 8th, Lickel 9th, and it will be Lewis getting an unlikely point at the very end. So Lewis gets a point for 10th place. Janelle 11th, Basil 12th, Lambo will be 13th and last, and I've just spilt water all over my microphone, so this great day just got worse. Brilliant. Anyway, we'll deal with that in a minute. I once spilt milk in the commentary box. I was then called the milkman by Soup if you're watching. But great drive from Blizzard today to take the victory. A great race, and I've lost my voice even more, so thanks for that, guys. Thanks for that. But we'll have the podium interviews in a few moments' time. But first, we'll have a quick look at the final results. Here's the podium. We see that quite often, don't we, in real life? Now we're getting it on the game. Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull, the big 3 teams on the podium. And it's a glorious day again for VSR Blizzard, for Mercedes. He wins in style to extend his lead at the top of the championship. Awesome drive from Blizzard. Total control. Beats Francis in second. And in third position, of course, was Cliffy with that great drive. Yes, I'm getting some XP. Great stuff. But there you go. Top three, as I mentioned, Liam Younger. He comes home in fourth position. It's Me is fifth. Francis sixth of all. ILRT Leon seventh. Alfie is eighth. Lickle ninth. And Lewis in 10th. Quite a few penalties in the end for quite a few drivers. Outside the points, 11th was Yano, who had a bit of an interesting afternoon. As we said, a big spin earlier on in the race. Basil was 12th. Lambo 13th. Jume did not finish after such a great qualifying. Disappointing for him. Goranen didn't finish either. Speed Barry, another forgettable day. Rafa, CC Brain, Abiadon and Zenke all failing to finish as well. Right, I'm going to try and get the guys in for interview. See what I can do, folks. So we're going to have here from our champion and our championship leader, Blizzard. Who's going to stop that man? That is the big question. A man in a league of his own at the moment. I don't know if anyone is going to be able to stop him. But we'll hear from Blizzard, we'll hear from Paris, and we'll hear from many of your calls for driver of the day, which was Cliffy, who came all the way from, I think it was 13th in the grid, to score a podium. So it was a good drive from him. As I try and get the invites out there. Apologies for the wait, folks. And there is Cliffy joining us. Cliffy, could you do me a favour? I don't know if you have got Paris as a friend, but I don't have him. If one of you guys could add Paris to the chat if you've got him. Do you have him?
Yeah, I can suggest him for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cheers. In fact, I might be able to get it. Cheers. But yeah, let's have a word with Blizzard after that race. If you're wondering, guys, my voice is absolutely gone. Not just from the race. Well, it was gone before the race. It's even more gone now. But yeah, let's start by talking to VSR Blizzard, who took the victory. His third win in 4 races so far this season. Well, Blizzard, you didn't have to fight for the last one, but you certainly had to fight for that one today. It was a good fight, but in the end, you still had the answers. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, I thought it was a great race between you two. I felt Paris called the strategy right. So what you're saying, Blizzard, is I take it if you would have went for that strategy as well. Why didn't you? Was it a mistake? Did you not realise, or were you aware the rain was coming but it was too risky? What was the reason behind not taking it? So you say you drove brilliantly in that first stint. Do you feel at the moment, Blizzard, you're driving the best you've ever driven? Do you think you really are driving at your absolute peak? Is there more to come? Surely not. It's incredible how well you're driving at the moment. Mm-hmm. And what about the penalties? You know, we sometimes say that could be your weakness. None today. Especially, and it was crucial that you never get any today because Paris kept you really honest, didn't he? And what about that fight from Paris then? Is that the kind of fights you expect from a lot of the drivers this season? I mean, to this point, you've not really had them. In Bahrain, you won that quite comfortably. Do you feel like the likes of Rafa, the likes of Paris, Sparry when he sorts himself out with no incidents? Do you think they can all get really involved and fight the way you had to fight today? Okay. Well, congratulations anyway, Blizzard. A great result today, great victory. Let's now speak to Paris, who I was speaking to, I think it was last Monday night. We had a little chat, and well, you delivered on what you promised, didn't you? You said you'd be on the podium, you're on the podium, you took the fight to Blizzard, but not enough today to get the victory. But you must still be pretty happy with that. Shit. I'm a bloody it. Right. It's not been my day. I am sorry. Right, go on, Paris. Blizzard, I'll have to come back to you. Right, on you go, Paris.
It was a pretty decent drive for myself. I was really hoping that the rain actually came because it was a monstrous gamble, but I am usually one to just take the gamble and see what happens. But it's a bit risky since there's so little rounds. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the podium. I need to fix up on the wet pace though. That was quite abysmal towards the end.
And did you think today you had a real opportunity to get that victory? I mean, you had some good pace. As Blizzard said, well, nobody heard it apart from you, but as Blizzard was saying, he felt he drove really well in that first stint, and you were keeping pace, you were doing well. What about the start? Do you think that was key to why you were unable to cling on to him with the DRS, losing out at the start?
The start, yeah, I don't know what happened. I've been having good starts in most of my practices, and then all of a sudden the rears just lit up and doing the same thing as always. So I mean, stuff happens like that, but it was a decent comeback to try and get in front because I knew if I managed to get in front of Francis and June, I could probably have the pace to like just hot lap until the pit stops.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel this result today is going to give you a good springboard, something to build on for the remainder of the season? You spoke to me about how you want to be in the podium as much as you can in the coming races. Do you think that's the perfect start to doing that?
Yeah, man, definitely, because I mean, there's so little rounds. If I need to get a move on, I need to get a move on immediately. So coming P2 today was pretty decent, and we'll hopefully build on that for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations on that second place. What about the strategy briefly? Those soft tyres, were you confident the rain was going to come? Were you absolutely certain, or were you a little bit nervous?
Well, of course not, because Jeff is unreliable as always. I mean, he said it was 10 minutes for a good, 5 minutes going around the lap, so I was just hoping, the clouds weren't even moving. I was just scared. I was just like, oh dear, I'm going to have to fucking two-stop. I was just like, oh my lord. And it was just, literally in about 3 laps, all the rain came at once. And it got to the point where it was into basically immediately, just as my tyres were falling off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of saved me in that respect, because I knew for a fact if I came in, since the Ferrari pit box is so close to the entry of the pit lane, I was going to get held up an absolute treat.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to stick with Matt, I needed to pit early and probably pit onto a different strategy, and it sort of paid off. Managed to close the gap under the pit stage.
Well, it was great today. It was great to have Blizzard having to fight for that one today. So keep it up. I'm sure the people watching will love to see that for the remainder of the season, because I certainly did. So congratulations on that. Let's speak to Cliffy, who, for the most part, I think got the driver of the day. I mean, again, Cliffy, standard stuff from you, isn't it? Start out like the top 10, end up tasting champagne at the finish. Talk us through it. Another great drive.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting my pace to be so good in the race. I'd done a bit of practice before, and I was sort of falling off a little bit, so I wasn't really that confident. But off the line, I got a good start, and some of the cars in front started battling, so I snuck down the inside of I think 2 cars into that turn 4, and then I was behind Leon for 4 or 5 laps, got past him, and yeah, the confidence just grew as the race went on. I didn't want the rain to come because my wet pace was shocking. So when it did come, I thought, I'm going to lose a podium here. But I knew that Liam behind had a penalty, so I knew I could take it easy, and if needs be, let him pass and then just stick behind him.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cliffy, why do you still do it? Are you starting down at the back? Do you just love doing it? I take it it's all about fun for you. It's not necessarily about doing it the quickest way. It's about enjoying yourself. Is that what it's all about for you?
Well, other than Australia, I haven't really enjoyed myself. Obviously, China got wing damage. Bahrain, I just went for a stupid move and gave myself wing damage, so I decided to just call it a day. Today, I thought I didn't have to pace in the race, but it turns out I did. Whatever setup I was running was blinding. But as I know I said last season I'll do it for fun, and I was actually going to qualify in the supers today, but coming out the last corner, I spun the rear and lost the car completely, so I was unable to improve. But yeah, going forward, I just need to really focus on one lap pace. Race pace is definitely there, as shown by today, but yeah, just sort of got to knuckle down on that one lap pace.
So do you think a little bit like we saw today with Paris challenging Blizzard, do you think if you can nail that qualifying pace and be there from the start, do you think you can offer that same kind of challenge to try and win the races? I mean, you've said before that Blizzard's at times unstoppable, but sometimes you can fight on and you can make a race of it if you start high up. Do you think that's the aim, to try and take it to them?
Yeah, I mean, I know Blizzard is in another country compared to most other people, but I like to think that if Blizzard can be that quick, then anyone else can. So it doesn't matter on the person; anyone can be as quick as Blizzard is. So it's just a matter of doing that one lap pace. And if I'm there from the get go, if I'm right behind and can keep within that slipstream, then I am pretty sure I can take the fight to him. But again, one lap pace for me is definitely a weakness. So that's going to be sort of the main thing I'm going to focus on going forward.
Okay, well, congratulations on that third place and the Driver of the Day award, Cliffy. Well done again. So, sorry about that. Let's go back to Blizzard, who was drowned out because I was on the blooming menu. Blizzard, again, just basically summarise what you said. Run us through your race again. Sorry about this.
Well, the first time I felt like I drove really well, a couple of mistakes, like getting the first warning and the only warning I had of the race. And then when Paris started pushing to try and get up to me into the DRS in the first stint, that's when I felt like I drove my best I'd done for a while. And then in the second stint, Paris gambled on the softs, and I knew that he would be able to make that to the rain. He did, but I managed to stick with him in DRS, which I've done a lot actually. It's a really good strategy, and I managed to win with my pace in the wet being better than Paris's, especially through the middle sector.
And going forward, Blizzard, the rest of the season, just try and mount up as many victories as you can and try and wrap up the championship. I take it that's it from here. How do you feel, Blizzard? I want to ask you this, going forward on F1 2019. For coming up soon, the Esports is coming up. What age are you, Blizzard? Are you of age to qualify yet?
No.
No, but you will be in a few years, I presume. So I take it, it's all about just improving that pace and getting stronger and stronger until then. Is that a target for you? Is that something you are setting your sights on?
Yeah, I mean, I set fast enough time for the F1 Esports Baku qualifier to qualify. So I think it's definitely a possibility.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to it because there's certainly a lot of potential there, no doubt about it. Well, that rounds it off, folks. Apologies for that disaster at the end there. But that is the Spanish Grand Prix here at Circuit de Catalunya. Round 4 of the championship is complete. We head off to the next round next weekend. I will not be here. I'm off to Spain for the Grand Prix, so I don't know who will be covering for me, but I'm sure it will be a cracker nonetheless. So, round 5 coming up next. Can anyone stop Blizzard? At the moment, I'm not so sure. Goodbye.